What if someone told you that everything you are chasing right now, the promotion, the dream body, the bigger house, the approval of people who don't truly matter, might actually be costing you the most valuable thing you own? Your time. I'm 45 years old, and I am dying. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. That's what the doctors said. They originally gave me 6 months to live. That was 5 months ago. Now if I'm lucky, I might have 4 weeks left. Maybe less. So listen carefully, because in the short time I have remaining, I want to spare you the decades of mistakes I made, the years I traded away for things that mean absolutely nothing to me now. This is not meant to be a sad story. This is not one of those live every day like it's your last speeches you hear all the time. No. This is regret speaking. This is anger. Anger at myself for misunderstanding what life was supposed to be about. Here is the truth nobody warns you about. Life doesn't send a notice before it changes forever. One day you feel perfectly fine, and the next, a doctor is sitting across from you explaining how little time you have left. In that moment, everything you once believed was important suddenly loses its weight. For most of my adult life, I was a corporate lawyer. I made partner at 38, 6-figure income, corner office, prestige, and I paid for it with my life. For 20 years, 70-hour work weeks were normal. I missed my daughter's school performances because depositions couldn't wait. I skipped anniversaries because trials demanded my presence. I kept telling myself the same lie. Just a few more years. Once I reach the next level, I'll slow down. Then I'll focus on my family. Then we'll take that trip to Italy my wife always dreamed about. But I never slowed down. And now, I'm never going to Italy. My daughter is 16. Recently, she looked at me and said something that shattered me. "Dad, you were always around, but you were never really with us." She was right. Even when I sat at home, my mind lived somewhere else, buried in case files, clients, and billable hours. Always chasing the next thing, always postponing life. 2 weeks after my diagnosis, something strange happened. I received the email I had spent 20 years waiting for. They were promoting me to senior partner, the title I had sacrificed nights, weekends, birthdays, and memories to earn. The achievement I believed would finally justify all the time I gave up. I stared at the screen, expecting to feel pride, excitement, validation. Instead, I felt nothing. Then the nothing turned into rage. A deep, burning anger filled my chest because I suddenly saw the truth. I had traded the best years of my life for a title that meant absolutely nothing now. Here is what I wish someone had told me when I was 25. Making success your ultimate goal is one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into. Achievement is addictive. You reach one milestone, feel satisfied for a moment, and almost immediately begin chasing the next. First, it's the promotion, then a higher salary, then a bigger office, then more recognition. The finish line keeps moving, and you keep running, until one day you look up and realize your life has passed while you were busy preparing to live it. I had a friend in law school named Marcus. After our first year, he dropped out. Said he couldn't imagine spending decades inside courtrooms arguing cases. I thought he was making the biggest mistake of his life. He became a high school teacher and earned about $50,000 a year. Meanwhile, I was making 3 times that, eventually much more, and quietly felt superior because of it. But let me tell you what Marcus did with his life. He coached basketball after school. He attended every single one of his children's games. He surprised his wife with weekend trips. Every Sunday he volunteered at a soup kitchen. He read books for pleasure. At 40, he decided to learn guitar, just because he wanted to. Marcus didn't just exist. He lived. Last month he came to visit me in the hospital. As we talked, I studied his face, relaxed, warm, full of a kind of peace I rarely felt. And in that moment, the realization hit me harder than any diagnosis. He was the successful one, not me. Because while he was building a life filled with memories, connection, and joy, I was building a career. I accumulated achievements, but I never truly lived. There is another truth I learned far too late. A lesson I wish someone had forced me to understand years ago. The perfect time never arrives. Not once. Not ever. I spent most of my life promising myself that I would start living later. I told myself I would travel after retirement. I would learn to play the piano someday. I would spend more time with my wife once work finally slowed down. But work never slowed down. Every after this I believed in was a lie I told myself to feel better about missing the present. My wife, Sarah, is 43. We've been married for 18 years. Last week she sat beside my hospital bed and asked me a question I wasn't prepared for. Do you remember when we talked about going to Paris for our 10th anniversary? I didn't. She did. She remembered how excited she was, how she showed me pictures of cafes, streets, and the Eiffel Tower. She remembered me saying, "We'll go when things calm down at work." Things never calm down. Now I will never walk through Paris holding my wife's hand. I will never sit across from her at a small cafe and be fully present. That dream quietly expired while I was answering emails. What haunts me most isn't the big events I missed. It's the ordinary moments. Tuesday nights when Sarah wanted to sit together and watch a movie, and I said, "Not tonight. I still have work to finish." Saturday mornings when my daughter asked me to make pancakes with her, and I told her I was too busy. Every small choice I made, thinking there would always be another chance. I was wrong. In hospice care, you meet people at the end of their journeys. I've noticed something about the ones who seem peaceful, the 80 and 90-year-olds who still smile, who still sparkle. They all stopped waiting. They didn't postpone joy. They didn't save living for someday. They chose presence over productivity. I met a woman named Helen. She's 87 and volunteers here. When she was 50, her husband died suddenly of a heart attack. That moment changed everything. She realized she had been waiting her whole life, waiting to travel, waiting to create art, waiting to truly live. So she stopped waiting. She sold her house, bought an RV, and spent the next 15 years traveling across the country. She's been to all 50 states. She painted hundreds of pieces. She lived more in those 15 years than I did in 45. She didn't have more money than me. She had more courage, and she used it. I lie here in this hospital bed now, and my world has become very small. I can't eat solid food anymore. Walking a few steps feels like climbing a mountain. I'm on so many medications that some days I forget what day it is. And yet, my mind is painfully clear about one thing. I don't think about my career. I don't think about my salary. I don't think about the cases I won. I think about the moments I said no to. I think about a Saturday in 2019 when my daughter begged me to teach her how to ride a bike without training wheels. I told her I was too tired, that the week had been long, that I would do it later. Later never came. The bike is still in the garage. I think about the time Sarah suggested a spontaneous weekend trip to the beach. 3 hours away. Nothing extravagant. Just us. I said I had too much work. Now, I will never feel sand between my toes with her again. This is what I need you to understand. Because most people don't realize it until it's too late. You believe you have time. You don't. You believe you'll get to it later. You won't. You believe there will be a perfect moment where everything aligns, where responsibilities ease, and you finally give yourself permission to live. That moment does not exist. The things you're chasing, money, success, approval, the perfect body, they're not the real goal. You're chasing a feeling. You think money will make you feel safe. You think success will make you feel worthy. You think approval will make you feel loved. I chased those feelings for 20 years through my career, and none of it worked. Do you know when I finally felt worthy? Not when I made partner. Not when I earned more money. It was last week, when my daughter held my hand and told me she loved me. Not because of my achievements, not because of my title, but simply because I'm her father. That was the feeling I spent decades trying to earn. And the truth is, I could have felt it any random Tuesday night if I had just closed my laptop and been present. You don't earn love through achievement. You experience it through presence. There's a bucket list sitting on the table beside my hospital bed, a list of all the things I truly believed I would have time for. Learn Italian. Visit Japan. Read the classic novels I kept buying but never opening. Write the book I always talked about starting. Hike the Appalachian Trail. Learn how to sail. None of it is going to happen now. Every time I look at that list, it reminds me of a dangerous word: someday. The bucket list itself was never the problem. The problem was my assumption that life would patiently wait until I was ready. I thought I would do those things after I achieved just one more goal. After the next promotion. After we bought the bigger house. After retirement. But life isn't something that begins later. It is happening right now. Every day you postpone joy is a day you quietly surrender. A day you will never get back. My daughter turns 17 in 2 weeks. I probably won't be there for her birthday. I won't walk her down the aisle someday. I won't meet my grandchildren or watch the life she builds. All those future moments I assumed were guaranteed were never promised at all. One night, Sarah asked me a question that cut straight through me. If you could go back and change one thing, what would it be? I told her the truth. I wouldn't change one thing. I would change everything. I would work less and be present more. I would say no to clients and yes to my family. I would take the trips without waiting for the right time. I would learn the guitar. I would sit on the couch and watch silly movies. I would make pancakes on Saturday mornings. I would teach my daughter to ride her bike. I would go to Paris with my wife. I would live. But I can't go back. So the only thing left for me to do is tell you this. Don't wait. Don't postpone your happiness. Don't trade your life for things that won't matter in the end. Because when you're lying in a hospital bed with only weeks left, you won't care about your job title, your bank account, or what people thought of you. You will care about the quiet, ordinary, beautiful moments spent with the people you love. Success without living is emptiness. Achievement without presence is hollow. Money without memories is just numbers. So live, now. Not someday, not later. Call your parents, hug your children, take the trip, learn the skill, do the thing that scares you, be fully present in your own life. I'm out of time, but you're not, at least not yet. So tell me, what are you going to do with yours?